Has anybody else been feeling like it's time to leave America? Yeah, it's time. But where you going?
You leave America, you ain't never going back. Honestly, I left like almost 2, 3 years ago, and ever since I left America, I've been nothing but happy, nothing but blessed, nothing but grateful. But when I was living in America, I was nothing but depressed. I was miserable. I was living in that paycheck to paycheck lifestyle. Just know, the minute you leave America, your happiness, your depression, all that gets a lot better. When you're in America, bro, that shit is miserable.
A lot of Americans actually they're leaving the country without most people noticing. It's quietly happening behind the scene, and the whole reasons why they leave is either because of the economy here, because of the politics here, because of the laws here. They just don't want to stay here anymore. And what I've noticed is most of these people they're leaving, they're going to most of the Asian continent and most of the Asian countries, sorry, and most of the African countries as well. And most of them, whenever they go there, they once they live there for a year or two, they're actually very happy. They enjoy the life. They're better than what life here is. Either maybe just the prices here is crazy, the economy is really bad, or just the politics they don't like it, or maybe it's the environment they live in they don't like it. And it's quietly happening behind the scenes without people talking about it. And the video we're going to watch is going to prove what I'm just saying. So without further ado, let's get into it.
If y'all needed any more reasoning as to why I'm leaving the country, take a look at this absolute abomination of city planning. Unfortunately, this is how most of America looks outside of big cities. This is not a country anymore, but a functional economic zone that you are meant to contribute to until your life ends. And maybe if you're lucky, every year or two, you can take a vacation to actually live for once somewhere else in the world.
It's crazy how cheap it is to live abroad than it is living in America. You know, I got all my groceries for around 2 weeks, and I paid $30. How crazy is it that when you leave America, you realize, bro, the food is more healthier. It's so damn cheap. Imagine having your full groceries for over 2 weeks for $30. How much do you spend on groceries right now for 2 weeks? $100, $200, bro. I'm so happy I fucking left America. I'm not gonna lie, it is so damn cheap.
My husband and I finally made the difficult decision to leave the United States. It was not an easy decision, and it came from a lot of conversations. But we finally realized we're fighting to stay somewhere that not only is he unwanted, but we're fighting to stay in a place that's just falling apart more and more each day and becoming an unrecognizable place. My husband came here to study English and to be part of everything the United States had to offer, which was a better life. The irony. Let me tell you a few things that I'm also forfeiting as a U.S. citizen that our country fights so hard to protect their interest. I am now forced to go live in another country just to preserve my marriage. This comes with leaving my family behind, leaving my law license behind that took me years and years to get. I'm not licensed, obviously, in another country, so I have to find an entirely new profession and start over entirely. Being a disabled veteran, someone who broke their back and both of their hips in the military, I am now forced to forfeit my personalized care plan that I have worked the last decade to develop with my physicians. I have medications that I take on a daily basis, and the VA does not ship them out of the country. This also just means that our kids will not really have a relationship with my family. How did we get to a place where the destruction, the waterfall of destruction is just so normalized? I can't stress enough how much I'm not trying to make this about me as much as I'm trying to shed light for those who truly don't get it yet. You should care that your fellow citizens are now being forced to leave the country to stay married. That's where we've gotten, and if that's okay with you, what the hell? To stand 10 toes down behind this administration and to support them at the expense of your fellow citizens should cause alarm bells. You should not be able to rationalize that. This is not as simple as some people are making it out to be. This will easily become a channel of watching us start over from scratch. I've got to find a new job in a country where I need to learn how to speak the fluent language and uproot everything I know just because I fell in love with an immigrant. Stay tuned for our journey and watch me pack up my entire house alone, because I'm also robbed of any help in this process, because my husband will be in ICE detention until the time that they drive him from the facility to the airport. Is America great?
I live and work in Spain, making roughly €1,000 a month, which in America is nothing, but in Spain is more than enough to live. I only work 16 hours a week, and I'm able to afford a super nice apartment in the city center of Madrid. Food costs me €20 a week. My electric bill is like €30 a month. I don't have to worry about gas or a car payment or insurance, because the public transportation system is so world class that you don't even need a car at all. Madrid is like the New York of Spain, except if you were living in the city center of New York, you'd have to be making literally at least $5,000 a month, and that's extremely lowballing it. Just their way of life in general, like, is so much more relaxed and just taking time to enjoy life rather than just working constantly. They literally have a siesta in the middle of the day where they take 3 hours to go nap or go to a coffee shop to hang out with friends. Like, the American mind cannot fathom. It's just crazy to me, because, like, you've been told growing up your whole life that America is the best country in the world. That's just so far from the truth. And it's, like, very obvious how much worse it is now that I've gotten out.
Here's some of the reasons why I left America to live in the Philippines. This is my condo. It's 1/4 the price of what you would pay for in America, has a massive pool, decent gym, a room full of PS5s with a bunch of games, along with a co-working space, sauna, views. It goes on. The studios in this building are only $500 a month. I splurged on the 1 bedroom for $670. My favorite part is that it's attached to a 5-story mall. You could basically run all your errands without ever stepping foot outside. Pharmacy, dentist, groceries, ATM, clothes and appliance shopping, all right there. But if you do step outside, you could literally walk to like 3 different clubs, a ton of bars and restaurants, no need for Ubers or DDs. But take an Uber anyway for $5 to BGC. This area has amazing events going on. I'm not rich in America, but when I moved here, I realized rich means so much more than just yearly income. And the most ironic thing is, once I got my free time, I was able to pursue a passion which eventually started making me money, which I would have never found out if I stayed as busy as I was in America. Statistically, the people who leave with remote jobs end up making more than the people who stay, and their money goes further. But Americans don't understand. This comment got over 3,000 likes from people I know have never been here. More people need to be talking about this. Send this to someone who needs to.
Quitting my job and leaving the U.S. was literally the best decision I have ever made. I think the old American dream that they sold us in the 50s, 60s, 70s is dead. The new American dream is peace and rest and financial stability. And a lot of times you can't get that with the house that they tell you got to get the house with the picket fence, white picket fence, or whatever. A lot of times you can't get that. Financial stability means renting an apartment, then that's what it means. If peace means taking a break from America, then that's what it is. It's not really just like, oh, the American dream is no longer the American dream. It's the fact that you can barely breathe. Like, you really can't take time off work without worrying about bills. And then when you leave the house, you spend $100 minimum. And I feel like I did everything right. Excuse me, I just left the gym. I feel like I did everything right. Like, I went to school, got multiple degrees, got the house, got the car, you know, the American dream, got married. But I just wasn't happy. I just didn't want to participate in a life in America anymore. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do to take a break in life.
This is something we got to talk about. United States citizens are leaving the U.S. and going to other countries. Whether it's Ghana, whether it's Thailand, whether it's Tokyo, you're starting to see it more and more. This is not a drill. This is happening. And for whatever reason, people are pretty much giving up on the American dream for whatever reason. And what I've personally seen from the videos is everybody's happy. And at the end of the day, that's what you want to be. You want to be happy. You don't want to be somewhere where you're miserable, you're struggling, and it's just killing your vibe. But we really I think this is something we gotta start talking about. People will come to America because America was what they would say the American dream. And I think the American dream is now turned into the American nightmare. And when you look at these other countries, if you're cultured enough, you'll see that, man, The places are beautiful. They have the same thing, if not more. The prices split in half, probably less than split in half. And you get a lot more. But it's just weird. We have these politicians in place right now who are just really turning this shit into a third world country. Like when you have U.S. citizens that decide to say, you know what, fuck this place, I'm out, and just uproot their entire life and go to another country that they have no clue about, and they're taking the biggest risk. But when you look at them a year, 2 years later, they're extremely happy. You got a serious problem here on the U.S. soil. That's a real problem. Just something to think about. Hopefully this is over to somebody. Chris with the Gems.
I left America 6 months ago and my life is infinitely better. Let's talk about it. First things first, I've talked about this in other videos, but it cost me around $1,000 to leave the States, which is significantly less money than I ever anticipated. And I think it's a really important thing for everyone to be talking about, that it actually costs a lot less than you might think to leave the US. Since moving abroad, these are the things that have improved in my life. First and foremost, my physical health is infinitely better. Why? The food is better. The air quality is better. I'm happier. I'm less stressed out. Medicine and healthcare is way more affordable. Like, we're talking apples and oranges. People are nicer here because they are happier here. It is significantly easier to cultivate community in a place where people are trusting and loving, and empathetic and kind. And I cannot stress this enough. My central nervous system is relaxed and calm for the first time in my life.
I had just made the executive decision that I will be permanently leaving the United States in less than a year and a half. Say what you will, but this is every reason I have of why I want to leave. Let's speed run this shit. Number one, if you're not making at least $150,000 a year or more, or at least have multiple streams of income, congratulations, you will be struggling for a very long time. Rent is incredibly expensive. It is almost impossible to buy a house. People cannot afford to rent an apartment or to live by themselves. Wages have been decreasing. Insurance is a scam. Healthcare and insurance has went up, and millions of American citizens no longer have healthcare. Many of the jobs online that you can apply to are fake. Hundreds of thousands of people are losing their jobs. Inflation keeps increasing, and all the administration has to do is blame Biden for it. Number two, racism is extremely belligerent all across the United States. Not just towards black people, but for other people of color who isn't a white Christian. Black people and other people of color are losing their rights, their equality, and their freedom. Asians, Hispanics, Arabs, Muslims, the list goes on. This country is incredibly hateful, spiteful, and the only thing they do is blame others for their downfall. Since the beginning of 2025, based on records, 7 black men has been found lynched. Still no justice for any of them to this day. White supremacists, Proud Boys, Nazis, they're out there marching, chanting out in public while our government, our president, and our law enforcement does nothing about it. Number 3, we are completely controlled by Israel and billionaires. We fall under an oligarchy. But hey, at least Elon Musk will become a trillionaire, right? Number 4, since the beginning of 2025, there has been 75 school shootings. 53 are dead, while 148 were injured. There has been 84 mass shootings, not including school shootings. The death count is still climbing to this day. Number 5, bombing and going to war with unnecessary countries. Iran, Venezuela, need I say more? Number 6, tariffs. They have done nothing but make the American citizens' lives harder. All it did was make everything more expensive. It was supposed to bring back jobs to the United States, but we're actively losing them. Number 7, our administration and the government has severely defunded the education system. Colleges, high schools, even Ivy Leagues has been severely defunded. So much so that they don't even have enough money to give out scholarships to the kids who rightfully deserve it. Number 8, tax breaks, not for the average American citizen, but for billionaires and anyone else who is making over $250,000 a year. Anyone else who falls under that bracket, congratulations, you're getting taxed more. And number 8, insurance company has the absolute right to decline you of any services if they don't feel like paying it to you. If you get cancer, break an arm, maybe get sick, or something else happens, maybe a car accident, they can look at that shit and go, nah. Or better yet, they could just flat out cancel your insurance claim or your account. Number 9, maternity leave fucking sucks in the United States. The most you'll ever get, especially after you gave birth, is maybe 2 months. Most likely less. Remember, you're a slave to the corporation. You don't actually have freedom. Pay time off, sick leave, just about. You get hardly any of that. When you have accumulated at least 2 weeks of vacation time in the last 3 years alone, they will do everything they can to keep you from not taking it. What can I say? That's American corporations, right, America? Number 10, there are American celebrities and billionaires, including multiple people who hold a chair in the government affiliation and power, are human traffickers. Number 11, America doesn't have universal health care. That's a big one. So if you get sick, have cancer, break a leg, maybe get shot, guess what? It costs you an arm and a leg to get better. I still have like 10 more, but I'm not going to do that. Don't worry, ladies and gentlemen. America's the greatest country in the world.
Why I left the US and will never go back there. The biggest reason why I will not be returning to live in the US is because it is a failed society. I don't think that Americans realize that the way that they live is not actually normal when you compare it to the rest of the world. It's not normal to not have healthcare. It's not normal to be in crippling amounts of debt from going to school or going to a hospital. It's not normal to be afraid of gun violence, for there to be a threat of gun violence in your school. It doesn't matter if it's a developed country or an underdeveloped country. It's not normal to only have 2 choices when it comes to politics and who runs your country. It's not normal to have a 79% literacy rate and half the country cannot read above a 5th grade level. My family and I immigrated to the United States when I was 5 years old. And in that time, my mom worked herself to the bone. We barely saw our mother because she was always at work. She never had time for herself. She's barely gone on vacation. Her life has literally centered around work for the last 25 years. And so my mom essentially sacrificed her life and her happiness in order to work. And when I returned to the US after living in Europe for 3.5 years, all I was doing was working. I would wake up super early in the morning, commute for 1 hour, go to work for 8 hours, commute for another hour, and then I would have 2 hours to myself before I had to go to bed in order to do the same thing in the morning again. All for 2 weeks of vacation time. And I want you guys to know that this is not normal. In some countries, the minimum that an employee will get off of work is 6 weeks. In some countries, women get years off to spend with their newborn child. After my mom gave birth to my brother, she was back at work after 2 weeks. When I was going to school in the US, I constantly had anxiety that our school was going to be shot up. And this is not normal. I want you guys to understand it, because when I was talking to my friends who also went to school in the US, they said the exact same thing, that they always had anxiety that someone would come into the school and shoot it up. And so I essentially chose peace when I decided to leave the US. I do not feel any sort of allegiance to this country because the US does not have allegiance to me as a Black woman. Black women are overwhelmingly more prone to experiencing poverty than any other ethnic group in the United States. Black women are also more likely to die in childbirth in the United States. It has one of the highest maternal mortality rates. And so why should I choose to work myself to the bone for decades to get nothing in return, to not even be able to retire comfortably for a country that doesn't care about me?
If you don't have any children or dependents and you really want to enjoy your life, this is about to be my suggestion to you. And I say this as somebody who did this prior to becoming a parent. So, if you're interested, keep listening. If you are presently in a position where the only person you need to take care of is literally you, I suggest that you move out of the country. Before I became a parent, I lived in Guangzhou, China. I lived there from 2017 to 2020. And when I tell you, as a woman, as a Black woman, those were the freest 3 years of my life. And when I tell you, those days were literally filled with so much joy and freedom that I have not felt since. But I'm very thankful that I had the opportunity to experience it. So I definitely suggest, if you haven't already, look into moving out of the country and travel, see the world, see different places, see as much as you can. I'm not saying you can't do this with kids, but in terms of it being a little bit easier, if you don't have any dependents, get up out of here.
I left America and I ain't coming back. I ain't coming back. Literally a month ago, I was sitting in my room in LA, in California, in America, just completely depressed. Nervous system all fucked up. Dying slowly because of the food. And I said, nah. Nay. I'm not about to do this. It took months of strategic planning, okay, and doing what I had to do to finally get here. But I'm here and I ain't going back. Use me as a walking testimony. If you feeling like something is off, this doesn't really feel like what life is supposed to be. The matrix of it all, the rat race of it all. There are resources. Do your research. Figure out where you want to go and make that plan and go. Because, baby, I made that plan and I left and I ain't never coming back.
If you're American and you have that itch to leave and move abroad, this is your sign to do it. I was miserable in America. I was 50 to 60 pounds overweight. I didn't know what I was doing. There's my toast. I felt like I was going to be forever alone. I had no sense of self. I moved to Ireland in 2018 and I found my now boyfriend. I lost 50 pounds. I found a new career path and I made some of my best friends and I traveled the world. So if you have that itch, do it.
Here's everything I spent to leave the US permanently and move to Europe. I got my passport and booked a one-way ticket to Ireland. My daily expenses were $46 on rent and $18 on everything else. I then moved to Scotland because US citizens can live there for 6 months visa-free. Despite it being the pound zone, my daily costs were actually lower here at $34 a day for rent and $29 on everything else. Living in Europe also means you can travel more freely and easily to other destinations. I then eventually decided to move to Albania, where US citizens can live for 1 year visa-free. My daily costs of living here were less than $50. All this is possible because I made over $3,000 from selling my car and possessions before the move. I also transitioned my work to digital work, which means I make the American dollar while living abroad. Follow for more advice on how you can realistically make the move to Europe. And if you're ready to get started and you want to work one-on-one together, send me an email. It's in my bio.
I moved out of the US about a year ago, and it's made me realize, reflecting back, I've actually never felt more unsafe anywhere, ever, than I have in the US. Literally walking outside my apartment, walking to my car, just being a single female anywhere, like actually paranoid, fight or flight, afraid for my life, living and existing as a single female in the US more so than anywhere else that I have traveled to or lived. Vietnam, I felt so safe. Australia, I felt so safe. In Bali, I felt so safe. Singapore, Thailand, Japan, so incredibly safe. And it's so interesting because everyone's first question is like, what about getting sick? And what about the spiders? Oh my God, the spiders, the conversations about the bugs. You guys, please, what about the guns? What about the guns in the US that so many people just have access to? It's Western propaganda. All right, it's fear mongering. People have just made the US feeds off of making you afraid to leave and making you feel like you are safer than you've ever been and you will ever feel in your life. And leaving the US literally fucks your brain in such a way because you're like, oh my God, it's all a lie. The American dream doesn't exist anywhere else but America. And everyone feels like, oh, like I need to go to America and like live the American dream. Like people think that everyone around the world thinks that. Guys, no. No, they don't. Actually, they're scared of us and they think that we're fucking weird, and they're right. One of the first things that people ask me, what's with the guns? You know how fucking embarrassing that is? And I'm like, as if I have to speak for the entire United States of America, and like I'm like, oh, I'm not with them. Like I don't know about the guns. Like I'm scared of them too. Like stop it's all fake.
Okay, so if you want to get the fuck out of America, here's exactly how you're gonna do it. And this is coming from someone who actually lives in Thailand. So I left America permanently last year, October, with little to no money. So I got fired from my waitressing job in June, and then I moved in October of last year. And from that time period, I was literally living off unemployment. So I was literally living off unemployment, stacking every single dollar I was making until I got here. Am I crazy? Yes. Did I still get here? Yes. I'm telling you, if there's a will, there's a fucking way. I even brought my cat by myself. I held my breath so long about this topic because I wanted to keep my platform very positive and uplifting, but ever since the little orange man decided to take away national parks, that's my last straw. So here's exactly how you're gonna move the fuck out of America. Number 1, visualization. Before you roll your eyes, I need you to understand how brainwashed Americans are into believing that America's the best country in the world and our government cares about us. I don't think anyone believes that at this point, but get that out of your head if you do. I need you to start visualizing a life that you actually enjoy living and believe that you can have it. Number 2, affirmations. Affirm to yourself that you can actually fucking do this. Despite how impossible it seems right now, and especially with the state of the world, you can still do it, I promise. I did it on unemployment with my cat alone. I'm 23. I just turned 23. I promise you can do it. Number 3, get rid of any self-limiting beliefs, obviously. Number 4, just start planning now, and before you know it, you will be in another country. And if you don't want to go to Thailand like I did, literally go anywhere else. Next month, I plan to move to Australia. Go anywhere you want. The world is huge. I decided to ultimately leave America because I believe that my desires are more important than anything else. I'm gonna live a life that I desire, and I want it to be exactly how I want it to be. If you're someone who believes that we have only one life, don't fucking waste it. If you want a step-by-step tutorial on how to actually move to Thailand regarding your visa, if you're bringing pets, all of that stuff, leave a comment below and I can make a video about that too. Because I promise I will literally tell you anything I know for you to escape America. Yes, I said escape. Follow along if you want to join my journey and see if I move to Australia.
We are all black women who left America and moved to Africa. We are living in paradise and happy AF. God is good.
Text without believing how they said you supposed to believe it, and I think that's the problem. We're throwing out the baby with the bathwater. But if you look at those,
I was trying to go if you're speaking about like comedic texts and things of that nature, fine. But I'm saying this whole Bible,
but
and
it
the
comes
Quran,
from the comedic text.
Yeah, everybody
because if you understand, and see, that's why I can say that, because I understand Kemet.
All right, guys, so what's your thoughts, right? Do you think it's right these people are leaving the country? Do you think it's right that, you know, they don't want to deal with the environment that is going on right now? Do you think America is that bad that people are willing to leave the country to just go for a better life? Some people even go to European countries as well too. I mean, what do you guys think, right? Please comment below. I want you to know your thoughts. I'm really curious to hear other people's opinion on it, because the videos that we just watched, you can see that it fully express why people are leaving the country, right? Like, you can see why people are leaving the country. So let me know your thoughts, and yeah, thank you.